When the lost land came back, everything changed. A vanished continent of myth, rich in resources, treasure, and secrets, was suddenly just there. And everyone wanted a piece of it. They came from far across the sea to tame this new land, but Highguard only welcomes those marked with the old gifts. Thousands went in. Few came back alive. So now, they send us instead.
Atticus, enemy crew is set up base to the east. What's your status?
I have the shield breaker. Coming to you! How are we looking?
2 up top. Wait, hold on. A third just jumped back to base.
Let's clear them out. Calling in a siege tower! Behind me, beasts. I'll carve a path.
Attacker down. All clear.
Copy. Going for their anchor stone. Bombs planted. Get ready for a...
Back to head wall. You coming or what?
Yeah. First try's on me, kid.
I'll catch up. There's something I need to do first. For the coming dark.
Okay, not that the animation's bad or anything. You know, it's definitely, I see the vision of what they're trying to do. They're trying to break everything up into episodes. They're trying to get the continuity to keep going. They're trying to get some intrigue so that we can follow along with the story and follow along with the characters and follow along with the world and why they're doing what they're doing. But the game's just it's still not there 100%. Like the core loop of everything, it's just, I feel like they're focusing on world building and bringing up a story. I don't know if that detracted from the actual gameplay. It's like they wanted to do something so big with the world and the story, and then it kind of detracted from the gameplay. Maybe that's what happened, maybe not. But if they can keep doing this to where they have like the story build up, because the game's not gonna die. I don't think the game can die like Concord did. You know, they've put a lot more into, well, actually I don't even know if that's true, because I think there was supposed to be like a universe for Concord where they had plans for animations and stuff, and I wonder if it would have been to the extent of this. I don't think the game's gonna die. I think they're gonna be able to tell their story at least, and I think they will be able to keep up with their development plan. I'm just interested to see the progression of this and to see if they do keep up with all of the episodes and keep expanding upon the characters, to keep expanding upon if there even is like a storyline or a timeline that's going to be like an actual progression. Let's see what the comments are saying. This honestly, this could have been the launch trailer, but this is the first episode, so you can't have like the first, actually no, they should have put the first episode before the launch. That actually would have been a little bit better. Yeah, stories from the Outlands, kind of. Something I miss about Apex is the amazing world building. Thank you for keeping that spirit alive with Highguard. And yeah, that's what they're trying to do. You can see that's what they're trying to do with these stories, but gameplay, man. And now the episode doesn't make sense because they tried to introduce 5v5, so it's like, it's weird enough that it was just only 3 people. Let me look at the roadmap again for Highguard. Here it is. Let's see. So episode 1 is launch. We're in February, so a new warden, a new map, ranked mode, new mod. No, what is that? New mount. New mount, new base, new raid tool. Oh, so February, March. And so episode 3, new warden, new weapon, new mods, new base, new loot item, and new amulets. So these are new episodes. So yeah, I feel like this episode should have came out before, but they just uploaded it, right? Yeah, today. And it's February. So I don't think it makes sense to have the episodes at the end of the season, if that's even what you want to call it. Should be at the beginning. So I wonder if they're trying to do it like the events happen in game and you're kind of like, oh, what happened here? This new character was introduced, this new area was introduced, what does that mean? And then it gets explained in the episode at the end of the month. Maybe they're trying to do something like that. Actually no, it said tomorrow there's gonna be an update, or it said to be continued, right? Yeah, to be continued tomorrow. I want to hear them explain the lore again.
When the Lost Land came back, everything changed. A vanished continent of myth, rich in resources, treasure, and secrets, was suddenly just there. And everyone wanted a piece of it. They came from far across the sea to tame this new land, but Highguard only welcomes those marked with the old gifts. Thousands went in. Few came back alive. So now, they send us instead.
They didn't necessarily explain the base rating aspect of it. You know, it's just kind of there. We got the enemies over there too. And they can't really, I don't know if they can do the same thing that Valorant did, where there are parallel worlds. It's like one team is fighting against another team, one world is fighting against another world. They're the same world, but different variations of each other. So I don't know if they can do that because Valorant already did that. So how are they going to do that? How are they going to explain that, I wonder? Interesting. But I did give the game a fair shake. Let me see. Let me look back here. So new map, new weapon, new mods, new amulet, new map, new modes, new amulet, new limited time mode. What could that be? And how could that change the game and make it more fun as opposed to the base rating game mode that is already there? So a new limited time game mode, new warden. So you got new wardens each month. You got new weapons each month too. New bases each month as well. I mean, do people really care about raid tools and weapons and amulets? Like, I feel like that's stuff that really should already be in the game. Because who's gonna like sit here and wait for like new weapons and stuff? Like, that should already be established. Like, you should already have your weapons established. And if you are gonna add a new weapon, I feel like it should feel exciting when a new weapon comes out. So it's like you have this huge arsenal of weapons already. So when you have a new weapon, you know that it's going to be something good, or you know that it's going to be something that's game changing or interesting. But like just getting one every month just doesn't. It feels weird. It's like the weapons should already be established. I feel like the new wardens, having them each month, that's kind of exciting as well. Although if you use the same kind of logic with what I was saying, with you should already have the roster and then introducing new people, you know it's going to be good. I think it's okay to have it monthly because Apex Legends already like takes 50 million years to get a new legend out, and it's like, it's because it takes so long, it's kind of annoying, you know? Like, I feel like they should be updating those a lot more than they actually are. But again, weapons, that's just a little bit weird. See, they even do basically that with the new mounts. You know, they bring them in sparingly. Also, again, who really cares about the loot items? It's like, oh snap, we're getting a new loot item. Yes, no. Like, I mean, it's another item, cool, you know, another thing that should have already been in the game, whatever. And what else is going on? So they got the game plan all the way up until the end of the year. What's the player base looking like right now? I wonder if that brought people back in. Let me see. I think it's Steam DB. That should have brought some people back in, right? Yikes. 3,000 in game. Actually never used this. How do I check the charts? See, the thing that sucks about Highguard is it was overhyped. People only joined to see the downfall. They only joined to hate watch, pretty much, like the Velma show. Like, watching the trailer for that, you want to see how bad it's gonna be. You know, and that's why it had a bunch of ratings. That's why it had a bunch, or that's why it was the #1 animated show on HBO. But I think it was the only animated show on HBO, but whatever. But people joined specifically because they knew they wanted to crap on it. And I think that really skews the numbers. It's hard to say exactly like what this chart would have looked like if it wasn't overhyped. I think the developers already knew that, you know, it wasn't something that they wanted a lot of attention on. It's like something new that's getting tested. They got all these new, well, they're not new features, but there really isn't a game that puts all of them together. Yes, all of the mechanics, they are a bit much, but really there's not a lot of games that have all of the things together, which technically in this case makes it a new form of something. And they knew that they were trying to do something different. They knew that it wasn't going to be like the next Titanfall. They knew it wasn't going to be the next Apex Legends. They knew it wasn't going to be anything crazy. So I feel like, you know, that's why they said they've been working on it in secret. They didn't want a bunch of eyes on it. This is just my speculation, and I'm just assuming pretty much. But if it just had, you know, a word of mouth kind of thing, like, hey, have you seen this game? What do you think about it? You know, how can we change it? What can we do better? You know, and of course it'll keep ramping up and having these episodes come out periodically each month, which will also, again, help draw people in. Like, imagine if at the very beginning it didn't have, let's see, I'm not even looking at the max from up here. Imagine if it didn't have the huge player spike at the beginning, because again, everybody was joining just to crap on it. The chart would have probably looked something, if anything, maybe like this. It probably would have started here, and I think it would have essentially plateaued the same. I think this is just people join specifically to see the downfall of it. And it shouldn't, it honestly, it's how it was marketed, you know? It was overhyped, and that got a lot of eyes on it when essentially it didn't need a lot of eyes on it at that time. Something like this needs to build over time and do it like it's doing it now, episodically. And honestly, it's just a shame that it wasn't able to, like, these numbers are skewed, so it's hard to really say exactly what would have happened or how things would have looked had it not been overhyped like the way it was. That being said, of course, it's not perfect, but I can see the vision and I can see how it can be better, how they're doing things like adding the 5v5. Again, the 3v3 was just a very weird choice. Sure, it works in Apex Legends because it's a battle royale. It's a super fast-paced game with a lot of people in the game. So I've seen people saying, oh, maybe if it was 3v3v3, potentially that could work too, but it works in battle royales Apex because matches are can be super fast. A lot of people are in there. It's a huge map and it's balanced essentially. But when you put 3v3 against, you know, just trying to, well, they aren't in a big map, but you just got 2 points. You're both rushing towards the other point. It's just not there's a lot of downtime that happens in between the rounds, which, you know, it kind of drags on. It's kind of not the most intriguing thing. Yeah, the 3v3 doesn't work for this kind of game mode, and that's something, actually, honestly, that's something that should have been caught with quality assurance, you know, with QA testers, beta testers, or, you know, internal play testing. That should have been caught, but I don't know, it's weird. But anywho, I'm glad that I did play it and I got my own opinion on it. My opinion is, like, if anything, if I were to give it a rating, I would give it a 5.5. These aren't the kind of games that I play. Honestly, I stopped playing Call of Duty a while ago. I stopped playing Siege a while ago. Not because I don't like Siege. I honestly could get back into Siege, but a lot of these shooters like this, these aren't my kind of games. These aren't my kind of games, but I can see the appeal to it. I can see how this could have a very niche audience. When I was playing, I did end up playing for probably something like 5 to 6 hours. I did have like the mentality like, okay, I'll just play one more game. And then I ended up wanting to play another game. And then I was like, okay, I'll play another game. There was a sense of wanting to get better at the game and wanting to understand how I could get better at the game, what weapons I should use, what character I liked. And that was fun. It actually was fun. And that's one of the reasons why I ended up playing a bit longer than I actually did. And a game like this can definitely have a niche audience who wants to get better at the game, who wants to see, who wants to do the same thing that I did, to see which character best fits them, to see how to play them the best, to see what guns are the best combos, to see if you can get better at aiming and get better with your movement and all of that stuff. So it has something there, you know? And again, it's just not my game, not my type of game that I would play. Honestly, people are saying that they see Apex in this game. I honestly don't see Apex in this game, because if I wanted to play Apex, I would just play Apex as opposed to this game. Like when I was playing this game, I didn't really feel any Apex elements to it. That's just me though, I don't know. But yeah, I even just recently uninstalled the game to make space for a different game, but